guys, we're here with Gaming in Progress. Just kind of wanted to make a quick video. A little bit since I made my last one. Battlefield 4 videos. Working on getting my support weapons unlocked right now, so I'm working with the RPK. Seems to be a overall pretty decent support weapon. I enjoy it. I want to talk a little bit about and as you may not know, I am very much pro Gamergate. I want to talk a little bit about Gamergate and Angry Joe. Now, as you may or may not have heard, Joe doesn't really have an official opinion yet on Gamergate. I mean, he may have a personal opinion, but he hasn't shared it with us. There was a thread on Gamergate. There was one long thread on his community site, and I was a part of it, and there were several other people a part of it, including someone who I will be speaking with later about it. And after a while, that thread made it to 40 pages, or God only knows how many posts, several hundred, I think. And it was eventually closed. The moderators stated that it was getting too much out of hand, and as far as I know, there was only 2 troll-type posts, and one of them was from, in fact, another moderator. I don't believe Joe is pro or anti. I believe he's aware of what's going on, but he doesn't really want to take a side in the fact that he has people on both sides, and his community is really on both sides. I mean, if you look at the thread, and I will link it in the description when I get the chance once this is uploaded. If you look at the thread, it's clear that people in this community all have their own opinion on it. And there's pro, there's anti, there's neutral, and that's perfectly fine. I have an issue, though, with the fact that because Joe hasn't taken a stance either way, really, he's kind of being pressured into making an official statement on it. And that's kind of led him to very recently kind of explode on YouTube. Not so much in the form of a video, just a comment he made. I'll have that up for you to view as well in the description. And people are giving him even more flack because of the comment, and I don't feel that that's really justified. It's his community. He doesn't have to go either way. He could be pro, he can be anti, he could be neutral like he's pretty much been so far, and it wouldn't really matter either way because it's his community. I don't really think he is anti. He may be pro and he may just be neutral, but he hasn't really done anything personally to give us any indication either way what his official stance is. And I know that annoys a lot of people, but you gotta understand, he has a reasoning behind it. And it's most likely because he has people on both sides of the argument, and he doesn't want to lose anybody in his life because of it. And that's understandable. I mean, he does a lot, and I don't really feel that we can demand him to do something that's out of his comfort zone. I'm not saying he's a perfect person. I don't know him personally, and I may never know him personally. But what I'm saying is that you shouldn't be so quick to jump to conclusions because of a YouTube series of videos about the administrators of his community and not himself. Because that's what that series was about. It was about the community, the Angry Joe Army, Angry Joe Show Army's community, not Joe himself. Joe created the community, but he doesn't manage it. He has a life, he doesn't have time to manage it, just like PewDiePie doesn't have time to manage the bro army. And that the top people, we'll call them, in Gamergate don't have time to manage every little aspect of Gamergate itself. Which is not necessarily a bad or a good thing. But it's how it is.
We have taken objective Delta.
So, if you don't like him, that's your right. I personally like him. I will respect whatever decision he makes, but I do have an issue with giving him flack simply because he won't put his opinion out there. If I was in his position and people were annoying me or even harassing me to put out an opinion on it either way, I wouldn't be any more inclined to join Gamergate or join the anti-side either way. I would probably take a stance similar to him, and that's perfectly justified and reasonable. Would you want to side with two groups of people that are harassing you? And you can say, oh, well, nobody's harassing him, but that's not true. I follow him on Twitter, I've seen it. And while discussion is perfectly fine, continuously bringing up a subject and then getting angered when he doesn't reply to you because he's got so many followers on Twitter, he's not going to reply to everyone. I've tweeted to him several times. He's never once replied to me, and I've never felt bad about it. But getting angry with him and saying, oh, well, Joe supports anti-Gamergate and stuff simply because he won't put out a stance on it is wrong. That's no better than saying that anybody who hasn't put out a stance on their side supports the opposition. It's just not true. And I'm pretty sure he knows what's going on. I'm almost positive about it. I'm almost positive of it, actually, sorry. But at this point, it's kind of impossible not to know at least some of what's been going on.
There's your ammo.
Kind of sums up. Let me explain a little bit further, and then I'll end this for now. Because I plan to be speaking with the person who created the YouTube series, and discussing things further, and that'll be a separate video, and we will be recording that video. But I mean, there's tons of people who haven't taken a stance on Gamergate. Tons of people who play games that haven't really taken a stance either way. Level Cap Gaming, PewDiePie, Markiplier. None of them have really taken a stance, and I'm sure they get flack for it too. Maybe not as much as Angry Joe, because Angry Joe is more on the review side, and he seems more like somebody who would have taken a side by now, more than somebody who, like Markiplier or PewDiePie or Level Cap, who just kind of game. They don't really do game reviews. But all I'm saying, really, is try to keep an open mind until he gives us an actual stance, which he can do whenever he feels. Doesn't mean pressure him into giving us a stance, because all that's gonna do is make us look bad. And we don't need to look bad, because we're not bad. Granted, I'm sure there are some people there are people in both communities, I'm sure, that just do it for the lulz. But as a whole, we are not represented by those people. we will not let us be represented by those people. We are a community of gamers. And that's really all I have to say is keep an open mind and
Okay, got him.
keep your eyes and ears open. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this little quick discussion. Hopefully I can get the discussion with the creator of that YouTube series. I'll be linking in the description. Hopefully I can chat with him soon. I don't know why our guy is shooting at a guy. And that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next video.